Oh, sorry about that, guys. My apologies. My apologies, guys. That was my bad. My mic was muted. Thanks for pointing that out, Mohammed. And Michael, all good. Automatically muted. Since it's a webinar mode, only my audio and video is active right now. But thank you for checking. So sorry, guys. Let me try that again. As I was saying, um, can you guys hear me now? Just one sec here. All right, guys. How about now? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Think awesome. All right, guys. Sorry about that. That was just a little problem in my Zoom settings. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry for the wait. Yeah. So getting back right on track once again. Sorry, guys, but yeah, this is Spencer with Top Producers Customer Success Team, and whether you're a brand new Top Producer CRM user altogether, or maybe you've just started to make the switch over from Top Producer X, good to have you here. Definitely gonna make sure that we walk you through some key points for configuring your Top Producer X to get the most out of it. So just a heads up, as this is, oh, sorry, one sec, my everything's not working today. My my ring light keeps turning off and everything automatically. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. So as I was saying, one thing to point out is as a general setup show, it can't unfortunately be tailored to any one person, any one situation. So for that one-on-one tailored coaching and setup experience, that coincides with what you need out of your top producer right away, highly recommend that you give us a call at our customer care number in the top left corner. That being said, in the show today, going to walk you through some key points for configuring your settings, getting your email integration set up, kind of explaining what everything's for and what it does and why you should put in the time to configure it. And then we'll also walk through some key points for importing contacts using our, from a spreadsheet and from an email service, as well as getting started with cleaning up and following up with your database, your sphere of influence, etc., using the follow-up coach. So, like I said, this is getting started with TPX with Spencer. I'm also joined in the live chat by Marvin LaRosa on our research team. So please feel free to reach out in the live chat on either platform, YouTube or Zoom. We'd be happy to hear from you guys. And that's because these shows are all interactive. So all you have to do is use the chat feature in Zoom to join in if you're on Zoom. Or if you're on YouTube, just make sure you're logged into a Google account, and that's going to allow you to chat and comment and everything. So any questions or comments you have along the way, feel free to reach out even right now if you'd like to share, whereabouts it is that you're coming from today, how long you've been doing real estate there, and even how long you've been with Top Producer for. Anything you'd like to share, guys, feel free to reach out in the chat. It would be great to hear from you. So I know that we already have Mohammed here and we have Robert. So gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in today. And yeah, moving right along here, just want to point out, after the show today, perhaps some questions have come up that you need some help with, or some troubleshooting or some additional coaching. Please reach out to our customer care team. You can call us at 1-800-830-8300. You can also use the live chat feature in the bottom right corner of your Top Producer CRM. It'll say Get Help Now. Just click on that within our business hours, and you'll be instantly connected with one of our senior customer care reps. You can also leave a message there if it's outside of our business hours. Another option is you can email our help desk team at support@topproducer.com. Just please allow up to 1 or 2 business days for response, sometimes depending on how busy they are. Yeah, so just to jump over to the next step, this is the game plan for today. Like I said, Top Producer X's settings, ways to build your database, using the follow-up coach as a cleanup tool as well as a follow-up tool, as the name suggests, and then pointing you in the direction of further help and support resources, and once again reiterating how to contact us if you need any assistance. So moving right along here, guys, this is our first point: creating a solid foundation for success with TPX by learning about vital settings first. So everything from configuring your MLS setup, integrating your email. If you're in the US, you can set up texting, things like that. Want you to be aware of what these settings are for and how they can benefit you in your CRM, and just kind of show you how to configure them first before you really jump into heavy CRM usage. You can of course get in there and take take care of some of the basics that you need right away. But I want to make sure that we're thorough in the show so that it kind of covers all sorts of aspects of what people might need. And actually, just really quick before we do that, in case we have any brand new users that have never logged in yet, would like to give you a quick little demo of what that first time login looks like. And you should be able to find an email in your inbox that welcomes you to Top Producer. So let me show you what that looks like if you're a brand new user. So here's what the email in your inbox will look like. It'll be titled "Welcome to Better Client Relationships with Top Producer CRM." It will actually be coming from sales@move.com, and your username and password will just be down in the middle of the email, as well as a Get Started button. So feel free to note down that username and password and click on Get Started. From there, just fill in your brand new username and password in the login screen. I apologize, this recording was done before we revamped the login screen, so I'll have to fix that, but looks just a bit different. So you'll be met with the subscriber agreement. So this is the terms and conditions of your Top Producer subscription. So if you're brand new to Top Producer, highly recommend that you reach out to your sales rep if you're not sure what this is or you'd like some clarification. It is very, very important because of the money back guarantee trial period and the 1-year term after the first 30 days. So please reach out to your sales rep if you're not clear on that. And on the next step, you'll reach the My Information page. So not a huge rush to fill out everything right away. You can always come back here later. I'd recommend checking your email, mobile phone number, and the time zone, at least for now, before clicking Save My Info. And so on the next step, it's going to ask you about adding or importing contacts. We'll cover importing contacts later, so let's just add a single contact. That'll be good enough to satisfy the system and stop it from nagging us about importing contacts. So in this example, I am just entering good old Jim Gordon. And as usual, feel free to reach out in the chat if you understand the reference. I haven't had anyone actually reach out yet. I'm kind of surprised, but if you understand the reference on that name, please let me know in the chat. I'd appreciate that. So just going to fill out some imaginary information here. And in this example, we're going to pretend that he's an engaged lead that we've spoken with already. So we're going to set his status to engage. This is his pipeline stage, So news for new leads, engages for leads you followed up but not qualified yet, future for future prospects, active for current clients, and closed for clients that you've closed transactions with. So we're going to set him to engage, pretending he's a lead that we followed up with at least once or twice. We're going to tag him with a contact type of buyer to further categorize him. Should be making ample use of contact types every step of the way and moving your contacts through the pipeline. We're going to save this contact for now. To find out more about that, feel free to join me in my Thursday webinar or give us a call. And so here's a brand new contact record. We have Jim's information on the left side. We have these tabs down the middle of the record that we can use to navigate to different areas very easily. And we're on the dashboard page by default. We see his status here, when the last touch or interaction with his record was, when the next important date, such as a birthday or anniversary is, and the last few most recent notes for this contact. We can always go down to edit contact at the bottom to edit his information or update it, add more contact types, change his address, things like that. But for now, we're just going to close that out. Perfect. So yeah, that's just a quick little walkthrough of a first-time login for Top Producer X if you're a brand new user, and then what it looks like to go through those first few steps and add your first contact. So thanks for bearing with me in case that wasn't relevant to you, but just got to make sure our new users are taken care of if they're watching or perhaps watching the recording after. So jumping right back into the content of the show, like I said, first step here, learning about the settings. So let's jump right into TPX and see what this would look like. So here I am at Top Producer X. If you need a way to get here, if you're not sure, you can go to crm.topproducer.com. Marvin's got the link there in the live chat for you guys. So just to show you here, crm.topproducer.com. If you are in Top Producer 8i, feel free to click the TPX button along the top menu bar. I'll show you what that looks like. So in TPX, Top Producer 8i, Just a sec here, guys. My computer is going a little bit slow because I'm streaming to two different services at the same time. But all you have to do is click on TPX along the top menu bar here, and that's going to log you right into the new version. Simple as that. If you're having any issues with pop-ups being blocked in your web browser, you may need to unblock that first, or just simply navigate to crm.topproducer.com. So we're going to go ahead and log in. And right off the bat, guys, if this is your first time in here, I just want to point out right across the top of the screen, we're on the contacts page by default. We have our sales pipeline, our business pipeline, similar to Top Producer 8i on the home screen, except it's represented by these tabs that you can actually click and drag and move around in any sort of way that you want. So we have new for brand new leads, engage for leads we've already followed up with, future for future prospects, active for current clients, and closed for clients that we've just closed with. That's the last action in our business. We also have the follow-up coach, and we have a brand new recent tab. And so guys, right off the bat, just want to share a little tip with you, my suggestion, if you will. I really like this recent tab. I think it's a great update that we added about a month ago. And I think it's great for productivity because you can always jump back here, to see the last few contacts that you've been dealing with after you've maybe checked your calendar, referenced your notes or something. You don't want to have to hunt down that contact record again if you've accidentally closed out of it. So what I recommend actually is select your recent tab, and you can actually set this as your default. And just keep in mind, this is my suggestion, but I find it incredibly useful when I'm navigating Top Producer X. So you click on the recent tab, or whichever tab you'd like to be your default. Click on the little gear icon in the top right corner, and then set current tab as default. You'll see preferences saved successfully. So now I'm checking my tasks, checking my snapshots, for example, calendar, etc. And then I go back to the contacts page. I'm going to land right on the recent tab every single time now. I just happen to really like that workflow. That way I can easily jump back to the last person that I was looking at here. Yeah. So that being said, guys, let's jump into the settings and walk through configuring your CRM first. Just want to point out that little tip because it might help you a lot later on. So in the bottom left corner, let's go down to the settings button. And right off the bat, you'll see your information, your CRM's profile. So you can click on edit my info at the bottom here at any time to edit this information. Same screen that you encounter when you first log in to Top Producer X for the first time. You can fill out this information. One thing to note here is for the images, there is a limit. I believe it's 1.8 megabytes. So if you try to upload an image that is too big, and then you go down and click on save, it's going to alert you now and say that the image is too big if it is. So highly recommend you shrink down any high resolution images first. If you're not sure how to do that, please feel free to give us a call. We can help you with that. You can also use a free online image resizer, such as the one available by Adobe. A big company, reputable company. They just have a free tool you can use online, which I find really easy. So this information, like I said before, not super vital to fill it all out right away, unless you have Market Snapshot, which is our marketing add-on for Top Producer X for sending out custom market reports. Because in that case, this information is really going to be used for your market report. You want to make sure that your social media links are filled in, professional info, color theme, as well as all this other information. Make sure your address is set to your business address so that that's the one that'll show up on your Market Snapshot report. And then, of course, click on Save My Info if you've made any changes. So heading down to the next setting, we're actually going to jump down to Calendar Sync. So Calendar Sync, this is a great feature that you can use to integrate your existing calendar service with Top Producer. So maybe you're using Google Calendar, maybe you're using Outlook or Office 365 Calendar, and you use that on your smartphone all the time. You can actually integrate the email account that you use that calendar on with Top Producer. So that's going to make sure that all of your most time-sensitive appointments are pushed to your integrated calendar and vice versa. So great supplementary feature because you should be doing the bulk of your task management in Top Producer X. It has its own task system that's linked up to your contacts and everything. Very convenient, quite easy to use and sort and things like that. But that being said, when you're on the go, sometimes you just need the fastest access possible to your appointments. Maybe you have that meeting at 1 p.m. that you can't miss. Well, that's where calendar sync really comes in to make sure that it's syncing to your calendar. You're not going to miss that on your smartphone, even if you're not logging into Top Producer at the time. That being said, if you do need to wrap up your tasks on the go, feel free to log into Top Producer Mobile. You can do your task management through Top Producer on there, and Marvin can link you to that in chat. But for now, calendar sync, quite easy to set up. You just enter your email address. It'll look, actually here, let me just unsynchronize this. So I'll just give this a second here. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you're starting fresh. You would enter the email address in here that your calendar is on. So if it's an Outlook account or Office 365, just enter your Microsoft username there and click authorize. You'll have to follow a couple steps to log in and authenticate it. If you're using Google, very, very easy. Put in your Google address, your Gmail account, hit authorize, select your Google account. And let me show you what this looks like for Google actually, because these steps will be very, very similar for email integration and contact sync as well. So for Google, I type in my Gmail address and click on authorize. And then it says choose an account. So I just click right on this one here. And now I've already given it permission in the past, so this screen will look a little bit different for me than it may look for you. But on yours, it'll probably be asking you for a series of permissions. Very important, guys, on this step, please make sure that all the checkboxes are selected. So there may be one or two at the bottom that are not selected. All you have to do is just give those a click to check them off and then click on continue. So this will take us back to Top Producer X in just one moment here. And it'll ask me to start my calendar sync because in case you have more than one calendar on your account, you'll just have to select from a drop-down list which calendar you'd like to sync. So there is that limitation. You can only choose one calendar at a time. So just choose the one that you most use for your real estate business. Not a bad idea to have everything on one calendar if possible, and then start the sync. And so that'll say running. So please just give it some time, 10, 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more even, until that starts synchronizing. You can check back, see on your calendar to see if that's synchronized. If you're experiencing any issues with that, guys, please just feel free to reach out and we can get that looked into. But generally, very nice integration and is really going to save you some time in terms of making sure things are consistent across your calendars. But yeah, please note, only your appointments are synced, not to-dos and calls and things like that in Top Producer. Those are meant to be handled within the Top Producer CRM environment. So let's go down next to email integration. So email integration, huge feature. One thing I would highly recommend setting up as soon as possible because it lets you take advantage of all the emailing features in Top Producer, from sending emails through here with included email tracking. You can actually see if people are opening your emails if they're sent through Top Producer CRM. And as well as, group email functionality, automated scheduled emails as part of task plans. That's all things that you can do after you integrate your email, so highly worth the time. So all you have to do, fill in your email address here, go through a couple steps, and let's see if I can show you with this one, for example. So this is with Office 365, or sorry, Outlook, I should say, authorize email. So very similar to the last step. This is an Exchange one because it's Microsoft, so I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. And same as before, takes me back to the screen here, and it adds another email address. So as you may have noticed, I have two email addresses integrated now. This is going to allow me to swap between the two when I'm sending emails and when I'm viewing email history between me and my contacts. So if you have more than one email that you use for your business, or maybe you'd like to integrate your email and your assistant's email or something like that, you can definitely go ahead and do so. And guys, please note, this is very straightforward for Google and Outlook, for example. But for something like Yahoo or iCloud, you'll need to actually, access your iCloud first and create what's called a app password. So if you go online and search for Apple app password in your online search, there's an article by Apple's official support page using app-specific passwords. Highly recommend you follow that guide by Apple if you're integrating with iCloud. This goes for contact sync and calendar sync as well. If you're using Yahoo, you can do the same Yahoo app password. And there should be a support page. Yeah, by, where is it? So there should be one by Yahoo somewhere. Unfortunately, I can't find it at this exact moment, but I know Yahoo does have one. So if you're a Yahoo user, just feel free to follow that guide. And if it, feel free to also reach out to our customer care team, and we can definitely assist you with this process. So yeah, after you integrate your email, highly recommended that you set your email signature next, just below that. So you'll see that this one says has signature no, because I just integrated. All we have to do is click on this. We'll be given a little editor window that we can use. So if you have a signature already in your email service, feel free to copy and paste that over here. Most signatures should work. If your signature has a lot of formatting or images, you may have a little bit of a more difficult time bringing it in which case I would recommend kind of piecing it in one line at a time. If you're having issues with the images being copied and pasted, I recommend that you download them to your computer and actually insert them manually instead of copying and pasting. That seems to work a lot better. But guys, if you need any help with this, once again, our customer care team is always there to assist Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, email integration, email signatures. Next up is lead providers. So lead providers, this is where you would go if you would like to integrate those great lead providers that you're using with Producer X CRM. So maybe you're paying for leads from Zillow or Realtor.com or things like that. Or maybe even just have a website where you have a form someone can fill out and they send you an inquiry about your services. Either way, you can use this special myleads.io address to make sure that those leads flow into your top producer automatically, so that as soon as you get that lead inquiry, you'll know that they're already in your database under the new tab waiting to be actioned on. And so all you have to do is take this address, just copy it and paste it into your online lead providers or lead sources, lead forwarding or lead notification settings. It depends on the platform what it's called. If you're given the option to have more than one email to notify, highly recommended that you continue to have your standard email address notified in addition to this MyLeads address, because that way you're still going to receive that email that you're used to receiving from Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever, but you'll also get that contact pushed into your CRM. And then what you can do is you can go to your contacts page. It's going to appear under new. So let me just show you an example here. So let me kind of show you an example of what this would look like. After you, let's say you received a lead from Zillow, you could check your new tab. It would say it came in less than a minute ago. If it was just it happened right now. New status, source Zillow, buyer, and then you'll have whatever inquiry message they included there saying, what they're looking for and things like that. So highly recommended, because then you can click into the record. You can take action. You can schedule calls. You can apply task plans for follow-up. And then you can even, email them right from there and switch their status to engage, signifying that you have followed up with them, but they're not yet qualified. Moving them to that next stage, moving them through your pipeline effectively. But yeah, let's go back down to settings. And guys, lead providers, we do support over 150 different lead providers. You can click on this link here to see a full list. Yeah, any issues with this, if you need any assistance, please reach out to our customer care team. We do have lots of practice with integrating with various different lead providers, so we'd be happy to help. So next up, guys, is Market Snapshot. So Market Snapshot is, as I mentioned earlier, our greatest marketing add-on for Top Producer X. It used to be a standalone product, but its home is now in Top Producer X, easier than ever to use. So this is a targeted marketing platform. So this allows you to send out a customized market report to any contact in your database. So maybe they're a new buyer lead. You can send them a snapshot to give them a bunch of different properties to browse through, and your branding is going to be attached to the snapshot everywhere, ensuring that they go to you as soon as they find something they like. Or maybe it's a past client that you've sold a house to. You can keep them up to date with what's going on in their neighborhood, new listings, what houses are selling for, what the market looks like. So some people just appreciate that information and data, and it keeps you, top of mind for them. And if they ever want to sell or they know someone that wants to sell, you'll likely be their go-to once again. And so anywhere in between, you know, sphere of influence, as long as you have some idea of what they're looking for, or at least an area, a zip code, you can send them a market snapshot. It's a great way to stay top of mind. Have it sent, you know, every week, every 2 weeks, monthly, quarterly, whatever you think is appropriate for that contact. And so if you have market snapshot, this is where you can modify the settings for it. So if you are brand new to market snapshot, I do usually recommend just leaving this as is, because as you can see, everything is on by default. So as soon as you uncheck something, that's going to be essentially limiting some, you know, of the things that you or your recipients will see. So in most cases, best to leave it on. I know in some markets, in some states, it's actually you know, a regulation or a law that you are not allowed to show sold data to buyers or something like that. So in that case, you can definitely disable that for your buyers so they never see it. But if that's not the case in your area, I would say feel free to leave that on, because once they receive the report, they can actually hide and filter that with one click anyway. So not a big deal. But if you do make any changes here, make sure you click on Save Market Snapshot Settings. So guys, to find out more about Market Snapshot, just please feel free to reach out in the chat. Marvin and I could definitely get you in touch with someone. And I do cover Market Snapshot a lot more in my Thursday show, 4 things you'll want to know after you set up TPX. So moving on down next to MLS credentials. This is where you go to link up your MLS board or boards with Top Producer X. And the reason you'd want to do that is, one, maybe you have Market Snapshot. Well, this is something you would need to set up first in order to use it. But even if you don't have Market Snapshot, you can still use this to take advantage of great features like property insights and, you know, fully utilizing the transactions feature. So to get started, just click on Add MLS Credentials. Just search for your board here. So if you're with Alaska MLS, there it is right there. Click on it. Maybe you're with Calgary MLS. Click on Calgary, and then fill in your MLS ID number here. So this is typically the one that you use to log into your MLS. So if you try that and it's not working, it says it's invalid, just give us a call and we will troubleshoot that with you. We have a lot of information on our side regarding different MLSs. So there's so many out there that it's amazing that we can actually integrate with most of them in the first place. And so, you know, there's a little bit of oddities here and there. They're all different, the way they handle things. Chances are we can help you get that set up if you're having any issues. So I would try your MLS ID first that you use to log in. If that doesn't work, like I say, guys, just give us a call. So you put in your ID number, click on Save Credentials. And then if it says valid here for your MLS, that means it's connected and good to go. So you can repeat this process as many times as you need to in order to add all of your MLSs here. And then guys, highly recommend after adding your MLSs to just give your CRM a quick sign out and sign back in. And that's just going to refresh everything and make sure that that connectivity works for you. So to do that, all you have to do is, let me just zoom in here, top right corner, click on this little profile picture to the right of the search button. These options will pop down. Oh, so actually, sorry, just in the chat here, Ali, thanks for joining. Ali's saying that she can't hear me though. Marvin, do you know if the YouTube audio is still okay? Okay, Marvin's saying it's okay. Let's see. Sorry, Ali, I'm not sure what's happening there. If you join on Zoom, let's see. Marvin, would you maybe be able to get the Zoom link to Ali there on YouTube so that she could switch over the registration link? We can see if that one works for her. That would be great. Let me just put that in the chat here. We'll grab. Okay, guys. So I'll just let Marvin take action on that. Not sure what's going on, unfortunately. I've heard that my YouTube audio is good. If anyone else can comment on YouTube, feel free to reach out. Would really appreciate that. But that being said, MLS credentials. Yeah, no problem, Ali. So yeah, MLS credentials, after you've added this, guys, just make sure you do a quick log out and log back in by clicking the top right corner and then going to sign out. And then all you have to do is just sign right back in. And that should be good enough to just make sure that your MLS connectivity is working as it should. And Marvin, I'm not seeing a link there in the YouTube chat. We might have to try that again. Looks like it just, oh, there we go. Perfect. Thank you, Marvin. Okay, guys, so let's go back to the settings in the bottom left corner. And we've just covered MLS credentials, so let's quickly talk about the Task Plans Manager and Template Library. Sorry, guys, just 1 second. Something popping up on Zoom here. Okay, looks like it should be fine. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that, guys. So Task Plans Manager, as I was saying, this is the area that you can go to configure your very own task plans for use with, contact follow-up, transaction management, things like that. Very open-ended. You can really create whatever you like for your task plans. So that being said, we do have some built-in ones you can use as either a template or, just for now until you get some time to make your own. And then what you can do from here is you can go to Browse Templates. Click in this little box here to search for plans. You have to first import them so that they're available for usage. Reason for that is we don't want to clutter this list up for you if some of these are not relevant to you. So you have to just first select them to import them. So here's a buyer prospecting plan, non-responsive lead plan, past client, after sale follow-up, simple lead conversion, so on and so forth. So maybe you see this sphere of influence plan and you want to see what that looks like. You can preview it here. And maybe you like that one. You can go ahead and click on import. And then you have a chance to rename it if you want, or you can just save it as is. So then you'll be taken right into that plan where you can then edit it. You can duplicate it, you can add additional tasks, you can change all this to your liking, edit when these tasks are due, add additional days or tasks. So you can add to-do reminders for yourself, you can add call reminders, and you can even add automated emails. So you just have to first create the templates in order to do that, I should say. So yeah, guys, lots of things you can do here. Buyer under contract, checklist, transaction templates for your sellers, new lead follow-up, etc. So highly recommend just get in there, play around with some of the built-in ones, or just make your own. And if you need any assistance with that, just give us a call. And that kind of ties into the next point, which is template library. So this is where you would go to configure your email templates to then use them in task plans. So you can also add from library, browse the list of different templates we have here available. And if you see one that you like, you can always click on customize template to make it into your own version. So very easy to use. If you are coming from Top Producer 8i, you'll probably be familiar with merge codes. So we do have the same thing here where you can use these little placeholder codes to customize the email on an individual basis. So just click on the little template button in the bottom right to bring up a list of those merge codes that you can use to make sure this is customized every single time. And I see in the chat there, Ali's saying the sound is good on Zoom, not on YouTube. I'm sorry about that, Ali. I'm glad you could join on Zoom though. To be honest, I find it's usually the other way around for some reason. When I view my Zoom recordings, the audio is nowhere near as good as the YouTube one. So that's very interesting. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, so after configuring your templates for usage, because guys, you'll definitely want to get into here, customize them to your own messages and what you want to say. Yeah, these are all examples. You can definitely use them as is, but pretty much anything that you want to say is going to be better than what we have because you know your market, you know your clientele, and you know how to talk to them. So, yeah. But if you need any help with this, we'd be more than happy to give you a walkthrough. Just give us a call at our customer care number. So guys, there's also team management. This is specifically for team leaders, brokers that are using Top Producer with their team. So you'll only have access to this if you are the primary account holder. And this is where you can go to add new users. So for example, let me just delete this one. So now I have one unused license. I can use that to add an agent. So this allows me to fill out their information, give them a username and password, and set their permissions. So if I let them have access data, that means they can see other agents' contacts and other agents' transactions in the system. If I don't want to allow that, I just leave it unchecked. Now, if there is a transaction that I do want them to be a part of, that's no problem. All I have to do as the primary account holder is add them to that transaction from within the transaction record itself. So very easy to do. There's an add agent button you press, and that will give them access to that one, even if they don't have this permissions allowed. So delete or merge data and export data from Top Producer. Those are both for Top Producer 8i Classic. They don't really, or excuse me, sorry, delete data is relevant in TPX. Merge data and export data is currently only for Top Producer 8i. So yeah, not much to cover in team management. Very simple feature. You can just edit your agent's information here. You can also choose to email them if you need to quickly contact them from here. So last but not least in the list is texting. So texting, this is where you go to configure your CRM to be able to send out text messages. Guys, please note this is currently only available in the US. So my apologies to our Canadian customers. Just at the moment, our partner for this is American based and it is only available in the States at the moment. That being said, that could change in the future, so stay tuned. But for now, for our American customers, please feel free to fill in your phone number, just without any spaces or hyphens or anything. Click on Save Texting Setup. All you have to do is respond on your phone with the word confirm, refresh this page after, and that's going to let you take advantage of texting in Top Producer X. You can send text messages right off your keyboard to your contacts in Top Producer. That's all going to be recorded in their contact records. And guys, very soon, we will be launching a series of updates for mobile functionality on Top Producer X. So that'll make that even better, because then as soon as someone responds to your text message, you'll be able to pull them up right on your phone from following a link, respond there just as you would basically from your texting app, except it would be Top Producer, and away you go. So you can already make use of this. So in the meantime, you can make your own texting templates, really simplify your follow-up. This goes great with Market Snapshot because you can send off a custom market report and then text someone a follow-up right after. Super, super convenient for you since you're already there in their record, and it's going to make sure that they see that market report. So that's just one of many examples that you could use it for. So texting, highly recommend you try this out. You'll be given a virtual texting number. If anyone texts you there, you'll be alerted on your smartphone saying you have a new message in Top Producer X. As I said, very soon, you'll be able to follow that link on your phone and use it very easily. If you receive a call to that number, it's actually going to route it to your real phone, so you won't miss any calls. Just one sec here, guys. All right, so I have a question in the chat from Robin. And Robin, thanks for joining it today. Robin's asking, when I have contacts, when I have contacts text me back through this feature, there's not a visible notification in the app/desktop. How can I change that setting? So good question. So Robin, right now, unfortunately, there isn't a notification in Top Producer X. That is most definitely being worked on, though. I know there is I believe a pending entry in our feedback platform, Pendo, regarding that. That is definitely something that our development team wants to add in the future. It's just right now there isn't a place for that in Top Producer X. In the meantime, the best thing to do is to keep an eye on your smartphone. You'll receive a notification from our notification number. Let me just check the number here really quick because I know I have it on my phone. Let me just verify that for you. So I believe it should be coming from 72438. 72438 should be the Top Producer notification number that will notify you about new messages. So at that point, you can see the contact's name. You can jump into their contact record and take action on it there. Or as I said, very soon, Top Producer X is actually going to be updated to greatly improve its mobile functionality. And at that point, you'll just be able to follow that link on the phone and it'll take you right to their contact record. So Robin, I hope that helps for now. I'm not sorry, there's not a better answer. Just at the moment, there's not a way to be notified through the software. It's all through the notification number on your smartphone at the moment. No problem, Robin. Yeah, just stay tuned a little bit longer, and this will be much easier to use once we start rolling out those mobile updates. But glad to see that you're using the texting feature so far. That's great. Because even as is, I should say, it is incredibly useful, I find. Perfect, guys. So that kind of covers that first section there. So that's kind of a run through the settings, how to configure them, what they're for. So let's really let's cover importing contacts next from spreadsheets or using our contact sync feature. So as you see in the slide here, in a second once it loads, you can import contacts from spreadsheets or email services via contact sync. So guys, maybe you're new to Top Producer and you need to get started with your contact database. Maybe you have a spreadsheet that you brought over from a CRM that you're moving away from, or maybe your MLS system. You can definitely import that spreadsheet as a CSV file. So if you have it saved as an Excel file or a numbers file on Mac, please save that as a CSV file, comma separated values. It's just a very simple spreadsheet file that is available across any computer platform essentially, and that's the format that's compatible with Top Producer. If you have some contacts in an email service such as your Gmail account, Office 365, iCloud, you can also bring those over through our contact sync service. So you can use both. So what I always recommend is if you have a spreadsheet to import, but you also have contacts in your email that you want to bring over, highly recommended that you import your spreadsheet or spreadsheets first, because that's a bulk import, and then the contact sync afterwards. The reason for that being is that contact sync does have its own built-in duplication checking. So if there's some crossover between what's in your main database spreadsheet and what's in your email service, that's the safest way to go. It's going to check, cross-reference that, and try its best to not create any duplicates if it exists in your database already. So we'll cover importing from a spreadsheet first. Let's go back to Top Producer. Let's go back down to the settings in the bottom left corner. And let's go to import contacts. So guys, first step here, upload contacts, choose a CSV file. Just click on this button right here. And what I'm going to do here is just give me 1 second while I find the correct file. So here we go. I have a fake name generator CSV file that I use for demonstration. I'm just going to double click on this to open it. That's going to upload the file into Top Producer. And then we have a couple different steps that we need to walk through to make sure that this import is as successful as possible. So right off the bat, let me just zoom in here. We have contact status. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is a representation of where someone currently is in your business. So there's only a few options, and that's on purpose. These are meant to be kind of rigid and provide structure, while contact types are what you use to really narrow down your contacts and make them more specific. It's really open-ended. So what you need to do, or what you should do, I would say, is think about what's in your spreadsheet and where those contacts would fall into. So maybe you have a spreadsheet that's your database from over the years. Maybe let's say 90% of it is like sort of sphere of influence, right? Then you have some past clients in there and things like that. I would say that future is probably the safest way to go, because that would, take care of most of your contacts. You could then even select a contact type in sphere of influence, and there it is right there. And that's going to make sure that everyone that's imported here will have that tag of sphere of influence, and they'll be put into future. Now, in another example, maybe you're importing just a list of all your past clients. You probably want to select closed, and you probably want to tag them with past client. And that's going to save you that time, because if the majority of that spreadsheet or all of that spreadsheet is past clients, you're saving yourself that time of updating the records later on. So it's going to save you some time for cleanup for sure. So in this example, let's say I'm going with future, going with sphere of influence. A couple examples of other things you may want to do is maybe old CRM, maybe just to signify that these are from your old CRM, or maybe MLS contacts, or something like that, right? Signifying that's where they're coming from. That's just going to give you more power to highlight these contacts and bring them up in the future if you need to make any changes. So then after that, we have the field mappings. This is definitely the most vital part because this determines where that data from your spreadsheet goes into Top Producer. So sometimes it can identify this automatically, sometimes it can't. It just depends on the spreadsheet. So you may see something like this. Just give me one sec here. So you may see something like this, not mapped, not mapped, not mapped. That means that it couldn't identify it automatically. You'll just have to take a moment to tell it where to put that data. So given name, that would obviously be first name, right? So we're going to go ahead and actually select first name from the list here. So that's showing you 4 examples from that column in your spreadsheet on the left side per entry. So this is the column name, and this is the first 4 entries just to show you a little glimpse of what kind of data is in those fields. So we're going to go surname. Let's put that to last name, right? Because that would make the most sense. Street address. Well, let's find the best option. If we scroll down through this list here, there's actually an option for street/address. Now, guys, this can accept the first part of an address, it's a street address, or it can actually accept a whole address. If you have it all the way from, the street address to the zip code, it can accept that as well. But if you have that broken up into different columns in your spreadsheet, as I think most probably do, you can map them individually. So street/address, city, let's go to, I'm going to hit C on my keyboard to jump down to city and click on it. State full, I'm going to hit S on my keyboard to jump down to S after a couple tries. There's state right there. And then, yeah, so on and so forth. Zip code to zip code, country full to country. And then you might encounter email address or email 1, email 2, email 3. Chances are email 1 is likely the contact's standard email, primary email. You want to map that up to email address. And then you can do other email and other emails for any additional emails. Telephone number. Chances are that's probably mobile phone, I would say, for most people. You might have, once again, phone 1, phone 2, phone 3. Try to map that up to mobile phone and then, business phone or other phone, home phone, whatever is applicable from your old system. And there's plenty of other things you can map as well, like occupation and company and things like that. So just take your time and go through the list, see what's available. Guys, if you need any help, always best to reach out to our customer care team because we can walk you through this process. You can reference us on this and we can tell you the best options here as well. And guys, if you have some options in your spreadsheet for like a contact type, like a label, buyer, seller, past client, realtor, vendor, that kind of thing, you can also save yourself some time by tagging those as contact types. So let's just pretend this doesn't say occupation. Let's pretend this is label or something, right? And what we could do is click on the drop down and click on contact type. And that's going to map that individually per contact. So if that's the case, you may want to reconsider using this one at the top because this one tags everyone in the spreadsheet at the same time. So if you have these kind of tags on an individual level, you may want to forgo using this and let it map them on an individual level. Or you can do both. Depends what you're trying to accomplish. And guys, if you have any columns in your spreadsheet that are for notes, you can use the add to contact notes option right here. So this is useful if you want to bring in those notes, or maybe there's some other data in the spreadsheet that just simply doesn't have a place in Top Producer. It's always good to at least bring it into the notes section so you retain that data in your Top Producer. So guys, we made an update recently. You can now select this add to contact notes option multiple times. So feel free to use this as necessary, like this, for example, to make sure that you're bringing in information that doesn't have its own slot or field in Top Producer. So after reviewing this, guys, making sure everything's okay, I highly recommend, take your time with this, 15, 20, 30 minutes even, not a bad thing to make sure that your import goes as smoothly as possible. And then after you're sure that's okay, feel free to hit import contacts. So that's going to take you back to the import contact screen where it'll actually show you in this area right here that is in progress. It'll show you after it's done how many contacts have been imported. So just give it some time. There'll be a little blue button over here somewhere that'll say check status. Just click that every once in a while to see if it's finished. And you can always go to the contacts page in the top left corner. And then let's say you imported into future, for example. You want to click on the feature tab along the top of the contacts page and see your contacts. So guys, highly recommend reviewing a couple of them just to make sure that your import was successful. So for example, I'm going to click on the first one here in the list and then just review, the name on the left side, phone number, email address, contact types, things like that, just to make sure that all looks right. You can even click on the arrows up here to go to the next contact and, just review a handful of them just to make sure that, all that data was successfully imported before you continue. That's my recommendation there. And if you're good to go, then we can also talk about contact sync really quick. We're almost out of time for today. And unfortunately, I was, experiencing some technical issues at the beginning. So if we go a little bit over time, I'm sure that's fine. But let's go to contact sync next. So contact sync, like I said, a feature that you can use to bring in contacts from an email service. So where this would be most useful is, let's say you have an Android phone, right? If you're using an Android phone, chances are you're probably using Google. So in a lot of cases, Android phones have their contacts linked to a Google account, so that whenever you save a new contact in your phone, you put someone's phone number in there, it's going to push that to your Google account automatically. If you have an iPhone, same thing goes for iCloud. Chances are your iPhone contacts are being synchronized to your iCloud. So these are two examples of something that you could integrate with Top Producer to pull those contacts in automatically. So in this example here, let's use a Google account. I'm going to put in this one right here and click authorize. Let's say that, for example, my contacts in my Android phone were all pushing contacts to this Gmail. I'd want to integrate this one then and authorize this. And then very similar to the email integration earlier, I just select my account here from the list. And then I would go through this process and continue. So I'm actually just going to back out of this one, just because I actually do not want to integrate this one at the moment. But that's how you would do it. And yeah, so guys, what that's going to do is that's going to bring in all of your contacts from that email service. So this may be a lot of contacts for some people. I've heard that, some people are not sure about that, if that's a good idea. My opinion is that it's, the advantages of this greatly outweigh any disadvantages, because you may pull in hundreds or even 1,000 something contacts, depending on how many are in your phone, your email service. But if you have anyone real estate related in there, they're now automatically in your Top Producer. And if you ever come across anyone in your database that is not real estate related, feel free to just recategorize them. You don't need to delete them. You can just simply move them over to an inactive or non-client status. They'll automatically be out of your way. They won't show up in your pipeline. They'll only show up if you actually do a search for their name, for example. And then you know what? If they ever become relevant to your real estate business, they're already right there. And for example, if you have a bunch of vendors and other agents and things in your phone, it's a great thing to have them in Top Producer as well, because then you can tag them as vendors, you can tag them as your inspectors or attorneys that you work with and things like that. And if they are ever relevant to, let's say, a transaction, you can tag them in that transaction and have everything connected there. So in my opinion, it's mostly a plus to use the contact sync and bring your contacts in from your email service in your phone. Yeah, so that'll start a bi-directional sync, or excuse me, it'll start a sync from your email account to your Top Producer. You can always manually add contacts from your Top Producer to that sync and push them back the other way if you'd like. So guys, that is importing from contacts covered. Really quickly before we finish up today, I want to show you the follow-up coach, which is a great built-in feature for cleaning up your database, as well as doing some extra prospecting for those opportunities that may have been in your database in your sphere of influence all along. So let's see what this looks like here. Let me just, okay, you know what? Let's just jump right into the follow-up coach. So guys, contacts page in the top left corner of TPX once again. And you'll notice along the top here, after the status tabs, there is the follow-up coach. So this is a very easy to use feature. The core concept is 5 contacts a day that it believes you should follow up with, or at least clean up the record for. And so about a day or 24 hours after your first contact import, this will become active. So don't worry if you don't see any contacts in here right away. Just give it until the next day and try it. And if you are brand new to Top Producer, an example of something you might see here is future contact Richard Dan, schedule a follow-up to ensure imported contacts don't fall through the cracks. And so what it's really saying is, Richard was part of a bulk spreadsheet import. It doesn't really know where he belongs in your business yet until you tell it, right? Because let's say we imported a spreadsheet where 90% of it was our sphere of influence, but maybe Richard is part of that 10% that was in that spreadsheet that wasn't actually sphere of influence. Maybe he's something else, right? So let's go ahead and click on follow up. And it's going to elaborate here and say update their pipeline status, contact type, and who they should be assigned to. So guys, let's take care of all that at the same time. Let's go down to edit contact at the bottom. And guys, this is what you can do in general to just start cleaning up your database. The follow-up coach is just a portal into some of that. If you're not sure where to start, the follow-up coach is a great place to start. So let's go to edit contact. We're going to scroll down all the way to the bottom, and we're looking for contact status and contact types. So let's say in this example, this contact Richard, maybe he's a past client that was in this spreadsheet, right? Let's update him. We're going to set him to closed. So he's not future, he's actually closed. Maybe that was the last thing we did with them a few months ago. He was we closed with them. We're going to delete the sphere of influence tag. And let's replace that with past client. Maybe he was a past seller. We can tag him with something like that. Maybe he's been a referral source. We can tag him with that. Maybe we helped him sell a single family home. We can tag him with that. So just all examples of things that you could use contact types for and contact statuses for. So we're going to go ahead and save this contact at the bottom here. And just like that, guys, Richard's record is looking a lot better. He's now closed. He now has some relevant contact types, so we can easily include him in certain contact lists, maybe for specific mail outs and things like that. And yeah, we just know at a glance much better who this person is in the future. So let's click on Mark Done for the follow-up coach. But guys, it is called the follow-up coach after all. So it is asking, how did we reach out? But that's the thing, we haven't reached out yet, have we, right? But this could be a great chance, a great opportunity, and a great reminder to do so. Maybe it's been a little while since I've spoken with Richard. So at this point, let's say, for example, I could pick up the phone, give Richard a call, touch base with him, hope, chat with him, see how it's going, blah, blah, blah. Just, maintain that relationship, right? Because you never know what can come from it, right? So let's say at that point, Richard had a potential referral for us, right? Maybe he said, you know what, I know someone that is also looking to sell their house. Let me send another referral your way. And you're like, thanks, Richard, you're the best. You always give me the best referrals. It's something like that. So you can say that you reached out via a phone call. And you could say, Richard had another referral for me. We'll follow up soon. And then what I can do here is I can set a reminder. So I can leapfrog off of this activity and set a reminder for myself or a call. Say, call Richard regarding referral. Maybe I'll say, Richard needs to chat with his friend first, wants a call back 3 days from now. And then what I can do is I can set that to be 3 days from now. So guys, just to recap, follow-up coach brought Richard to our attention. We've updated his record, made it much more cohesive and relevant to what he's about. We've been reminded to call him. We've done so. We've recorded this and we've scheduled a follow-up on that phone call all at the same time. Let's click on save wrap up. And so that's going to take care of all that. And that's taken care of in his record now. We have the note on there. We have last touch saying task completed. I can go to tasks in his record. I can see there is the follow-up scheduled, and I can see the completed task right there as well if I unhide that. So guys, just an example of how the follow-up coach can really help your productivity, let you focus in on some opportunities instead of trying to deal with 500 contacts at once. Why not narrow that down to 5 contacts at a time? Because guys, if you did that 5 times a day, 5 contacts a day, Monday to Friday, 5 times a week, that'd be 25 contacts cleaned up in your database and also some extra prospecting done, right? So there's tons of opportunities that can come from that, really giving you that edge over your, the other agents, your competition in the area that may not be doing something like that. So just some insight into a great feature in Top Producer X. Highly recommend that. And just want to run a quick poll actually regarding follow-up coach before we finish up today, just to see how you guys feel about it. Are you ready to start, nurturing your database and build on those relationships, find opportunities that have been there along with the follow-up coach? So just a couple options there. No judgment, guys. Just want to see where you're at in terms of that. Yeah. And while we're waiting for some results there, just want to show you where to go to find additional help and resources for Top Producer X. So guys, first option, bottom right corner of your Top Producer CRM, get help now. You can click on that. Let me just move my camera. So yeah, you can click on the Get Help Now button in the bottom right corner. That's going to instantly connect you with one of our senior customer care reps if you need some help. You can also access our support page at topproducer.com/campus. Marvin is also just linked to that in the live chat. You can also get to this via your Top Producer X. Click on your profile button in the top right corner here, and then click on Support Site. That's going to instantly launch you into that campus page as well. Where I highly recommend, guys, in some next steps, check out the video library to learn more about different settings and features. Scroll down to the bottom of the page to reference our customer care number, email address, and our business hours. Feel free to browse here through any of our articles as well, guys. Search for keywords if you're looking for something specific. And then make sure you check out the webinar schedule along the top menu bar here to see all the different shows we have to offer. So this is getting started with Top Producer X you're watching right now. Feel free to join Marvin and I on Thursday for 4 things you'll want to know after you set up Top Producer X. Great post-setup coaching show with lots of different points covered. A little bit of different content every week. If you want to learn more about the latest updates to Top Producer X, join my colleagues on Wednesday, the 20th, for latest updates to Top Producer. If you are still transitioning from Top Producer 8i to Top Producer X and you need a little bit more info, a little bit more help, please make sure to register to upgrading from Top Producer Classic to X on the 27th, which is also Wednesday. And yeah, guys, lots of content here. Every single week, live shows. You can always go back and view the previous recording. So just click on one of the past shows and you can see the recording right there. That being said, guys, sorry, I'm not sure what's going on here with my slide. But yeah, like I said, feel free to reach out to our customer care team. We have our number up there in the top left corner. I apologize. Normally I have that in my slideshow. My slide is kind of busted right now, I guess. Yeah, give us a call, 1-800-830-8300. Live chat, as I showed you in the bottom right corner, or email our help desk at support@topproducer.com. So guys, if you're brand new to Top Producer, once again, welcome. Please make full use of the resources available on our support page. Give us a call, contact us if you need anything. We want to make sure that you are as successful as possible with your Top Producer X. So guys, time to get in there, time to make the most use of it. Get your contacts in there, start scheduling your follow-ups, make use of your pipeline and your contact types. You can always delve into the more advanced features later. As long as you can use your Top Producer for something that's going to help you in your business right away, that's the best way to go, because there's all the time in the world to learn more, and we're always here to help you every step of the way, guys. So that being said, thanks a lot for joining in here live on Zoom and YouTube. This has been your host, Spencer, and Marvin in the live chat. Good to have you guys. Hope to see you on Thursday. Give us a call if you need anything. And once again, welcome to Top Producer, everyone. Thank you very much.